Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, special session, Mayor and City Council meeting at 4 p.m. Tuesday, March 26, 2019, at City Hall Conference. I call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Now, number 3, discussion items. Number 1 on discussion items, discussion and possible action regarding appointment of Deputy City Attorney Mike Massey. I make a motion to appoint Deputy City Manager, Deputy City Attorney Mike Massey as interim City Attorney after the expiration of the current City Attorney's employment contract and during the recruitment and hiring of the City Attorney.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much. Item number 2, discussion and possible action regarding the recruitment procedure for the City Attorney. Do I have a motion on that?
I so move, Mayor.
Second?
Second.
Do you have second? Okay, go ahead. Second. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, go ahead.
Basically, what you're saying here is that we would go ahead and each one of us would name someone to a committee
Yes.
that would screen the deals?
Well, actually, not screen the deal, actually bring to us a candidate or a person that's willing, an attorney, that has the ability to be the city attorney in Nogales. And then from there, you know, we would make a selection.
But are we going to ask for qualifications from the people?
Well, of course, they have to go through the process, yes.
No,
I mean,
no,
they just
but
can't
the
pick anybody.
people we're gonna go ahead and pick to be in that committee. Are we going to go ahead and say they have to have some legal background? They have to have.
No.
So why don't we just do it ourselves then? Why do we have to have some? You know,
Well,
we
you
just
know-
got through that with the magistrate where we basically gave up our.
No, but this time you're not giving it up to anybody. What you're doing is you're just having somebody bring the person to us or the name so that we can make the selection. We'll make we'll select the persons. We'll select 2 of them in no category at all. And then we're the ones that are going to be interviewing and go through the process. And if we select somebody that's interested, we're going to be also conducting ourselves with a contract and preparing everything. It's not going to be like it was before.
But are they going to be screening the people? I mean, usually what happens is we would give it to the human resource director, and they would screen to make sure that they qualified under the employment
No,
of a city attorney.
yeah, I understand.
Right? I mean,
If you see
so
step,
they would have to be knowledgeable enough to go ahead and do all this, which was basically we've always left it up to the human resource director, and then she would give us the whole thing, putting it on, let's say, the A category, the B category, the C category, and who qualifies and who didn't qualify and why she didn't qualify. Which, if you remember, that's the way we did it with almost every one of our picks that were picked first when we picked the city manager.
yeah, we did that for city manager, but I don't think it's ever been done for a city attorney since I've been in office. That's over 12 years.
It's not given to the.
It's always been an appointment from outside coming in with nobody saying anything about it. And if you just go back to when you and I were city councilmen during Octavio Garcia. We never went through a selection process. Now what I want to do is I want to be transparent. I want to make sure there's accountability, and I want to make sure that we as a council make the right choice for the city of Nogales.
Well, as long as it's understood that here are the qualifications.
Yes. I understand.
If they don't adhere to the qualification, plus that, are they going to give us just the top 2, or are they going to give us the whole everybody that's applied? I would rather see.
You know, if you read on there, it says the committee will select a group of candidates, typically 3 to 4. To conduct a professional background check also. And then if you go down, it says the top 2 candidates names in particular, none in particular order, will be forwarded to the mayor and council for decision at a public city council meeting. So we will conduct the interview. We will be the ones making the selection
For the last two.
for the last
For the
two.
final
Yeah,
two.
we don't want,
But-
6 or 7 of them.
But what if one of us would want to still take a look at others that did qualify, or they would basically be,
Well,
let's say that there's 6 people that qualify that have the experience, the 6 years experience, that have had this and that. What if there's 4 or 5 people that
well,
qualify?
that's going to be an option. We're going to have the opportunity. The way I placed this, I was just giving you a format, giving you an idea how we should do it, because it's being done by the city council. But what I mean is, if we come up with 6 people that are qualified, then it'll be up to us to make a decision at the time.
But they will,
Yes,
but
Mr.
they will
Walters.
follow the.
Yes, yes. We have this has just been here.
You have to follow.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes. There's no ifs, buts about it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Moore.
Is the current city attorney eligible to
Yes.
participate in this,
Yes.
apply for this position?
Yes, and also Mr. Massey is also, can also apply for it. Of course, anybody.
As long
If they
as long
feel,
as you
if they
qualify.
feel that they have the qualifications
Yeah.
that meet this on the job description, and they apply for it, yeah, more power to them.
Mayor, just a point of
Yes.
clarification. Does the motion include the process that you
Yeah.
want to go through?
Well, the motion actually, the second
I know
one-
it's in a draft form,
Yeah,
but
this-
that's a process.
basically, this is just a little format.
Okay.
That's why we're discussing it right now. We could tweak this right now as we speak.
Yeah, but you would like, you would like for it to go through this process?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, Councilman.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to bounce off some of my ideas on Councilman Henessian here right now. He is correct. We did have a bad experience with the city magistrate.
Yes.
And we all concur with that.
Yes,
So
sir.
we had to step in. He's correct in that angle. I prefer, it is our responsibility. The individual does report to us. My alignment at this time with this draft is that to proceed in the arena of transparency, of getting the community involved in the process, okay? Remember, the community is the one who gave us the power to sit here, all right? So there's a lot of competent people out there.
Yes.
Because they are the ones who placed us here. We didn't place ourselves without them empowering us to be here. I do like this format. I just want to make sure of, number one, Mayor, on this deal, and my colleagues also, that who's going to be ultimately responsible? Is the HR person going to make sure that they're responsible? Because they have to abide by the open meeting law. And number two, I would recommend that this just be a screening committee. They do not do any interviews or anything
No,
like
no,
that.
yes.
All they're going to do is screen and recommend to us the top 2.
Yeah.
Then when they come to us, then we review their applications, then we ask the city manager, before we go any further, do a background check on them to make sure we're not embarrassed or anything like that. So then when the city manager comes back and says, we've done the background check, everything is in order, then we can go ahead and proceed with our interview. So this is
right.
going to take a while to do. And if each one of us are going to name an individual to it, I know we're going to name competent people to it, but I just want to make sure that we all 7 of us, please don't come back with an all-male board. Let's divide it up equal, female, the mayor, maybe 2 other people, council people. You have to pick females for this, and then the rest for 4 females and 3 males. Let's not come back with a good old boys,
Yes.
and all of that. Let's make sure we have diversity of our culture in that committee. And then the other thing that I would, Mr. Henessian points out, the job description. I do not want to advertise for this position under the premise of the salary is dependent on on the qualifications. I don't want to do that. I want, if we're going to do something, let's go ahead and put in the salary range. So you come back to us, or if you want to right now, with a salary range with it. Not this deal, people get turned off when they say that, oh, they're gonna try and do this, and it's not worth my time. And let's put a salary that we can agree upon on this situation here for this position. And those are my thoughts right there.
No, and that's what we'll do. To make it more transparent, that's what we'll do. And I know that if there's anybody out there that's qualified or thinks that they're qualified, well, the first thing they would do is probably contact Human Resources to get this themselves. Because if I'm an attorney out there, I want to see what they're asking. You know, if they're asking for the 7 years of municipality experience, you know, well, you know, they're gonna think about that, you know, and the 5 years of litigation experience, which I see those two, that's D and E on that, the ones that probably stick out a little bit more, and you know, those are critical, because you do want somebody with, you know, municipal litigation or municipal.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with everything on this that's on there. I think it'll keep us clear and out of trouble. It's already been approved by the mayor and council, or previous mayor and council. I just don't want the salary range to say DOQ.
Yes.
That
Okay.
I want us
Yeah,
at
we'll
our
do it.
next meeting to put a line item, an agenda item for our next meeting that says the staff is recommending this to be the salary range for this position, and then we can discuss it from that point on.
We'll do that. Yes, Councilor.
Thank you, Mayor. Dr. Barona, is that based on other municipalities, the salary range? A city equivalent to our population?
It probably would, but I would have to wait to see what the city manager recommends on that.
Okay.
Let him do the research, and then we make the final decision.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
Yes,
Mr.
Councilor.
Mayor, on this new contract, is this going to be for 4 years? Or that's,
2 years.
2 years?
It's a 2-year contract for city attorney. City manager and city attorney are 2 years. The city magistrate is 4 years
By council action.
by council action.
That's why. I mean, we could
Yeah.
make that council, but we've always, our charter says 2 years. But for the city magistrate, during Octavio's term, I have it here. I researched that why 4 years, and it was through council action that was
Yes.
approved.
Yes.
Or it could be through council action again, a 1-year contract. It could be
It could
max
be
2
no
years,
more, yeah.
the max 2 years, but it could be less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Could be a
Well,
1-year.
Well,
contract.
nobody's gonna come from.
nobody's
Yeah.
come. Oh, I wouldn't.
Mm.
For
Oh.
1 year.
Can I speak?
Yes, go ahead.
I don't know if this has been done, and maybe Mrs. Fuentes can help, and the city manager. I don't want to get into this thing with any of the candidates about severance pay.
Yes.
They need
Yeah.
to know up front. There's no such thing as,
Yeah.
if you want severance pay, put on there, please do not apply. Whatever, or
Yeah.
put a sample contract in there, but there is no severance pay for this position. To make it clear, so we don't go through the whole process and then we get to negotiate and they want severance pay.
I think we set precedents already on that.
I think we
Yes.
did, I think you're
we
correct, but
need-
I just
we-
want to make sure that there's no
I think we
severance.
need to make sure on that, and probably any other appointed position. Should we, well, we have a motion, and should we go ahead and vote on number 2?
Call for the question, Mayor.
Well,
Okay.
yes, but Mayor,
Yes.
I just want to make sure. Dr. Felix and Mrs. Fuentes, are you clear? Because, you know, the motion is just impossible action. Are you both clear on what we talked about, the
You are?
directions that you want to go, or do we need to be clearer on the, I want to make sure everybody is clear of what we discussed and what way, so there's no room for misinterpretation or anything.
Okay, you know, before we make a motion, could you hand me a piece of paper and show me right now? Let me just read this. This is from Mr. Massey, which we already voted on and passed it. He states, "It would be my express privilege and honor to serve the citizens and residents of the city of Nogales as interim city attorney for a brief period of time following the expiration of the employment contract of the current city attorney, Luis Parra, which action the council is considering to take today's special session." And then it says, "Such a temporary appointment would be consistent with in recognition of the deputy city attorney's job description as acting as interim city attorney from time to time, as the pleasure of the city council. It is therefore expressly understood that such a temporary appointment would not and is not intended to remove me from my permanent position with the city as his deputy city attorney." As long as we understand that, that he is expressing that.
No, I understand what Mr. Massey is trying to say, but in order to in fairness here, Mayor, in order to protect Mr. Massey, because that's what he's asking for, is protection, we need to go back to item number 1 on the agenda and include that statement into that motion and make sure it's documented in it. We can't just read it. It's got to be binding in order to protect.
Okay, look, I move that we attach this memorandum to discussion number 1.
Is that proper to protect Mr. Massey?
Okay, so we're in discussion item number 2.
Or should we,
There's been a motion.
should we
There's
go
been a
back?
motion.
Yes.
There's been a
all right.
motion made and a motion seconded
Yes.
and passed under item 1. Mr. Mayor, you were under motion under item number 2.
Yes.
And there was a motion made and a seconded.
Let's go back.
Right. And at this point, my understanding is you're gonna table that particular motion and second, and you can bring it right back up.
Yes.
Right after.
Well, I called for the question on that,
And
on item 2.
yes,
Yes.
Councilman,
So
But we didn't vote on it.
Mr. Mayor, if
Yes.
I may, I think Councilman Rojas is correct. He called for the question on that second item. Perhaps the correct thing to do is to go ahead and deal with that second item, and then you can go right
Well,
back
then
to
go
the
back.
first item.
Yes,
Mr. Mayor.
okay.
now
That's what I'm
under Councilman Rojas' question, I did ask for consideration of the question, Councilman Rojas, with your permission, because I want to make sure, we're just voting on the generic topic.
Yes.
I want to make sure that
Yeah, they
everybody
vote too.
understood
Sure.
what we were talking about. Do we need to clarify it anymore? Or is everybody aware of what we are doing and everything like that? I don't want to get into.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure, because there's a lot of things that we said here, and I just, yes, Mr.
Go ahead.
And as you remember, I was part of that, I helped that committee when we did the city
Yes,
manager, that
right.
you were part of the committee.
Mhm.
When you put a committee together, they'll start ordering up things.
Uh-huh.
So I just want to make sure that we think about, I don't know if we want to discuss it right now or discuss it in the April meeting, that typically we would like to see a budget, because sometimes they'll start ordering things and then we have no budget for it, like advertisement and
Oh, okay.
cost. So maybe something you can think about. Do you want to attach a budget so the chairman of your committee will be able to have discretion on spending, some dollars?
That brings a twofold question. One, at a future meeting, bring a budget for official approval. And number 2, the chairman of the committee is the selection of the mayor.
Okay.
That's who the chairman of the committee.
Okay.
But am I clear? I just want to get this. Dr. Felix and Mrs. Fuentes, Mr. Kissinger, are you guys clear of all of our discussions here? I don't want to come back and, okay, then as long as they're clear, I don't want to go back and forth.
It's on the record, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
okay, so
Well,
since you
but-
called for the question, yes, you
Thank
called for
you.
the question, okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, now, can we go back to 1? Okay. On number 1, on discussion items, I read this memorandum from Mr. Massey, and I make a motion that we attach this to number 1. We don't have to go back on that one, or can I do it right on?
Well, you can do an amendment, or if there's a second motion to be made and discussed, just relevant to that particular issue,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor. you can do that too. I think there was a motion made and seconded. At this point, there can be a friendly modification motion or an amendment and/or I would say, Mr. Mayor, that the proper way to do it is to handle it by way of an amendment to that particular motion that was made.
So we amend number 1
Correct.
and then come back to
The main motion you're
the
going
main
to
motion.
Right.
Original motion.
To just, to,
To
that
include the
that
To
main
add
motion
this-
to add
to add this.
the consider, the,
Remember
right,
the
to
memorandum.
consider the contents of the memorandum.
Okay. Okay, so make a motion to amend number 1 to consider the action of the memorandum.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, yes. Mr. Massey, did you have anything to say, sir?
Other than I'm humbled and honored that you would consider me for even acting temporarily as interim city.
Thank you very much, Mr. Massey. Okay, okay, what else? Yeah, adjournment? Yes.
The only thing that we forgot about is the salary, you're right. Does Mr. Massey, are you happy where you're at?
Yes, I mean, if I can.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Massey.
For a brief period of time, that's what the memorandum reflects, that the deputy city attorney's job description reflects that from time to time, for brief periods of time, could act as interim city attorney. And with that, there would be no need for a salary adjustment.
All right, thank you, Mr. Massey. All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mark, you're gonna have to take him out to lunch.
Okay.
¿A dónde los vas a llevar?
Que lo lleve lunch.
Mayor, this is